Hi, this is Dan McCloskey. The following is a radio program put together by Tom Mazzolini on June 23, 2001. It took place 2 days after the great bluesman John Lee Hooker had passed away. Tom has been hosting superb blues shows called Blues by the Bay for over 40 years now. In this program, Tom masterfully educates us about John Lee Hooker and his importance to the blues. You'll hear 2 separate interviews with John Lee Hooker, as well as a number of his recordings. So now let's get back to 2001 to hear this historic program hosted by Tom Mazzolini.
Got the boogie, man. Nobody do the boogie. Got the boogie, man. Boogie all night, all day too.
And that is the Boogeyman. It's John Lee Hooker, and as you probably already know by now, John Lee Hooker died in Los Altos, California, south of San Francisco on early Thursday morning. He was 83 years old, and there has been so much news about this passing of John Lee Hooker. It's been virtually on all of the major news sources throughout the world, actually. He had a profound effect on everybody. He was born out in the countryside in the heart of the Mississippi Delta outside of Clarksdale on August the 22nd, 1917. John Lee Hooker became the living embodiment of the history and evolution of blues music as we've come to know it. He is probably the single most recorded blues musician in history, and the creator of one of the most unique and original styles the blues has ever known. With the emergence of John Lee Hooker, the bluesman, all music rules were broken. His hypnotic one-chord drone blues, exemplified by his 1948 million-selling hit record Boogie Chillin', has defied imitation, but was, in John Lee's own estimation, the first rock song. That record, which was so profoundly popular, became a #1 jukebox hit. Little Junior Parker reworked it into a hit called Feelin' Good for Sun Records, and Canned Heat made it into another hit and an anthem titled On the Road Again. And Norman Greenbaum took the beat and made it into The Spirit in the Sky. Even ZZ Top recorded it as LaGrange, and on it goes. The boogie has been in the repertoire of countless musicians everywhere.
Kiss me true, just hit, pretty baby. Got one hit, pretty baby.
Most of the countries in Europe certainly appreciate you and appreciate the blues.
Well, I'm big over there than I is in the USA. It's funny, but I am.
When did you start going abroad or overseas to Europe?
In 62.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be before the Rolling Stones got started. They got started, it was getting started when they hadn't got started. When they got started, I was going on, so it was getting together, and they played second bill behind me for about 2 months. I lived over there a year. And John Mills, I'll tell you, he was my backup group. John Mills, Clapton, Peter Green. You heard of those people?
Sure.
And John Mills had all those people, and I was headlining the show, and the Stones, they were playing second bill, and they had them. And after the years went by, they did another group come up called the Small Faces. Don't know whether you heard of them or not. On and on like that. Yeah. And I know a lot of the guys over there. Long John Baldry, have you heard of him?
Sure, Long John.
Yeah. Then we always throw around Eric Burden. They always were, because he's called Animals. Then.
But this boogie woogie sound is, as I said, it's your trademark.
The boogie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sort of spilled over into today's Canned Heat, I believe.
Yeah, well, I'm the man that originated it. It really come from the, I don't know why you even heard it in that. Called Boogie Chillin' way back. It was Boogie Chillin'. Just by myself. And it was a #1 hit for about a year. back around 51, around the 50s and 52 and 3. Then In the Mood for Love, that was a hit. Then on late year, and then I got, then Can't Heat them, they was copying my style, note by note. You know. The song, but On the Road Again, you know, that was taken from some of my stuff. Then they got with me and said, I want to do the boogie with you. So let's change this boogie chiller and call it the boogie. I said, okay. That was a big album. It was really called the boogie, called Hook and Heat. You remember that album? Well, my money allow me just to stay out all night long. Oh, Lord. Well, my money allow me just to stay out all night long. When I first come to town, people, I was walking down Hastings Street. That's in Detroit. That's where I grew up at. Everybody was talking about Henry Swing Club. That was on Hastings. I thought I'd drop in there that night. When I got there, I said, yes, people, they were really having a ball. Yes, they were. Boogie chiller. Yeah. I was laying down one night. I heard Mom and Papa talking. I heard Papa tell Mama, let that boy boogie. It's in him. And it got to come out. And I felt so good. Went on boogieing just to sing. Oh, Lord.
John Lee Hooker was one of 11 children born to sharecropping parents. John Lee Hooker learned guitar from his stepfather, William Moore, who had performed with the Delta legend Charlie Patton. Young John Lee Hooker also heard the records of Blind Lemon Jefferson and Lenny Carr, and along with Tony Holland's influences, forged a style of playing the guitar that took him to Memphis, and for a short time to Cincinnati, and eventually to Detroit, Michigan, where he began to perform regularly along Hastings Street around 1943.
I come home last Friday. I was telling that old woman I done lost my job. She said, that don't confront me. So I have my rent next Friday. I come home next Friday. I didn't have the rent, and out the door I went.
My style, I picked it up from my stepfather, which his name was Will Moore, you know. When I started out by myself with just a guitar. It sounded like a full band, you know, because I used the rhythm with my feet and the stroke of my hands and things like that. And just a full tone on the guitar. And I would listen to a lot of blues singers that I'd never seen. I wanted to see, like I told you, coming on, like Blind Lemon, Blind Blakes, and Leroy Cobb, and people like them. I never got to see those people, but I never got to see them, but I would admire what they do, Charlie Patton and people like that. So I liked his style, and him and my stepfather played almost alike, the same style. So when I picked up on one, I picked up on both because they all played identical alike almost. And that's why I confidence my style. So.
Marshall Stone's the blues and jazz historian, has said that you in fact play in a style similar to a style that was used in the Civil War times.
Well, I don't know. Could be. I don't know. I don't know where my stepfather got it from. It might have been handed down to him from the different generations, but he picked it up maybe from somebody, and then somebody picked it up from somebody, and then I picked it up from him. So it's probably true what he said.
Well, I'm wandering, like a sheep out on the fold. Yes, I'm wandering, like a sheep out on the fold. Well, I ain't got nobody in this world to care for me. You're my baby, Lord have mercy.
In the late 1940s, John Lee Hooker came to the attention of producer Bernie Bessman, who released John Lee's Boogie Chillin' on the Modern record label, which became an overnight sensation. Hooker subsequently recorded for over 8 years for such labels as JVB, King Records, Chance, Chess Records, Prize, Staff, and Danceland, to name a few, under such aliases as Texas Slim, Delta John, Birmingham Sam, Alabama Slim, and Johnny Lee. In 1955, he signed with VJ Records in Chicago, which resulted in a number of hit records, such as Boom Boom, Dimples, No Shoes, and Mambo Chillin'.
Right down, right off of your feet. Take you home with me. Put you in my house. Boom, 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 boom. Ow, how, how, how. I love to see you strut up and down the floor. Talking to me, that baby talk, I like it like that. Oh, yeah. Talk that talk, walk that walk.
You've always been attached from the very beginning, I think, to the country, or to what country blues rather than urban blues.
Yeah. Quiet time.
When did you change from the acoustic guitar to the...
Oh, a long time ago. T-Bone Walker changed me. You heard of him? And
sure.
He was the first man I seen with the electric guitar. And he made electric guitars famous. He's the man who made electric guitars famous to the whole world. And he, the first electric guitar I seen him with one. And I would follow him like a fly would follow, ice cream. But I just loved that man, this electric guitar. I had never seen an amplifier, guitar. And I was going places with him, I was much younger than he was. And he would take me anyway, and some places I couldn't get in, but he said, let him stay. And I just sit right there and watch him play all night long, And so he was my idol.
John Lee Hooker's recordings for VJ Records in Chicago brought him to the attention of the British blues musicians, such as John Mayall and the Blues Breakers, the Yardbirds, and the Animals, who did a cover version of Boom Boom. During this period, he also began touring England, where he has always remained popular. For example, in 1991, his CD release, Mr. Lucky, hit number 3 on the UK album charts.
I done got my questionnaire, and he needs me in the wall. I got to go to the army and try to win the war.
John Lee Hooker moved to the San Francisco Bay Area in 1970. Here, his association with guitarist-producer Roy Rogers resulted in a series of critically acclaimed albums, including the 1989 Grammy Award-winning album called A Healer, which featured Carlos Santana. The album went gold. Later recording sessions have included Van Morrison, Ry Cooder, Robert Cray, Keith Richards, John Hammond, Los Lobos, Albert Collins, and Johnny Winter. In 1991, he was elected into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Here he is in an interview conducted by Phil Elwood.
My style is different from anybody else's style. I don't know whether you noticed that or not, but there's so many fantastic guitar players. So fast, but sometimes they're really, really good, but sometimes a lot of them sound alike. I don't know whether you noticed that or not. But you don't find nobody sound like my guitar to me. I got that funky tone and that heavy beat. I carry a big rhythm beat. I can take a guitar, just make it sound like a one-man band almost. Make the whole guitar ring. So I make all the string ring at once and get a full sound. That was one of the first songs I ever played. My father used to play that, my stepfather, a song called Sally Mae. But he never did do anything with it, and I wrote it, and it come to be a big number for me when I got famous in the 50s. Sally Mae, you's a no good weed. You know the cows just won't mow you down. You's a no good weed, Sally Mae. You know the cow just won't mow you down. If I was the chief police, Sally Mae, Lord, I would drive you out of this town. Sally Mae, Sally Mae, I wonder will you ever change your ways? Sally Mae, Sally Mae, I wonder will you ever change your ways? You stay out all night long, all night long. Baby, you know that ain't right.
John Lee Hooker sits here with a guitar on his right knee and the neck sticking out over his left knee. How long you been playing the guitar?
Well, practically all my life, since I was 12.
Who was the first person you can remember seeing sit with a guitar and sing the blues?
My stepfather.
Where was that, Mississippi?
Yeah,
What part of Mississippi?
Clarksdale, Mississippi.
Why are so many blues people from Clarksdale, Mississippi?
I don't know, but just about all of them is the good blues singers is right from there. You take me, B.B. King, Muddy Waters, Jimmy Reed, on down the line.
And then back to your stepfather's generation too.
Yeah. Well, see, when he was playing, the style that I'm playing now, that's the style that he was playing in.
It was?
Identically, because he was my idol, you know.
Did he make any money playing the guitar?
No, back in them days, they didn't make any money. You know, they just getting it for the kicks, you know. And
when was this? This was back in the early 20s, huh?
Yeah, something like that.
Uh-huh.
And I used to sit down, and I used to, you know what I used to do? I used to get like a board, you know, like, and I put some wire on this board, wire, either rubber, and just tighten it up on there. And then sit down and play it. That's when I didn't have a guitar. And then I just put wire on the wall, you know, and just two nails like that.
Uh-huh.
And I sat there and
make the sound.
Make the sound. It sounded good. And I just sat up there and play and cry. Tears coming out of my eyes.
That was real homemade music then, wasn't it?
Real homemade music. Mm-hmm. And finally, my stepfather, he bought him a new guitar and he gave me his old one. And oh boy, that did it, you know.
You mean a real guitar?
Yeah, he gave me a real guitar after he bought him a new one, so he gave me this old one. And I treasured that thing. I would carry it to bed with me at night. Uh-huh. My mom would whoop me and make me get it out to bed. I wouldn't go to sleep, you know. She'd be playing it in the bed. Uh-huh. And then days, you know, days like around when I wasn't doing anything, I would go out in the woods and just sit down on a log and play off to myself. Because they wouldn't want me to play around. They get sick of that fuss around the house, you know. Tell me to get out in the backyard anyway, put it down. And that was when I ran off from home. I ran off from home when I was 14.
When you leave Clarksdale, Mississippi, you go north, don't you, to Memphis?
Yeah, I left there and I went to Memphis. I left there when I was 14. And they come and got me and I stayed about 2 months and split again. Because I always was lazy. I didn't like to work on the farm. I didn't like no work, you know. That hot sun stuff coming out on you. I didn't dig that, you know.
Did you run away so you could play more? Was it a musical exit?
Yeah, well, I ran away from home because I didn't like work on the farm. One thing about that, and I just wanted to do that, just play my guitar. I left there one morning, early one morning, before they all got up. You know, I got up and packed my few little rags in my bag and grabbed my guitar. Got out there on the highway, so I caught a truck. And he carried me almost to Memphis. Gonna leave right away. Catch a train right away. Gonna leave right away. Gotta go. Oh yeah. Should have been gone. Should have been gone. Long time. Hey. All right.
You don't, John Lee Hooker doesn't use a pick when he plays.
No. For me, it's for the birds. For me, I mean, for my own personally. People that use them, fine.
You never had anything to do with them, huh?
No, well, to me, I can get that true blues sound with the pick. I got the true blues sound with just my fingers, just like God give me.
Do you think somebody starting in now, if they would be better off to learn to do it your way with your fingers and not the pick?
Well, really, I ain't saying it just because I do it, but I wish somebody would do it my way, just a finger pick it. You take that's the old style. And the old style is back here. And people, all the young kids really dig it, you know. And because the blues is really back here big now, the old style. And you don't find many youngsters do that. They don't finger pick it, they just use picks. But without a pick, they lost, you know.
Is it a little bit easier to use the pick?
Well, yes, it's easy on your fingers. But once you get used to it, see, it don't bother your finger because calluses come on your thumb like that. And it comes just a hard rock, so it don't bother you. But when you first started doing it, blisters come on your hand, and after that, you never be bothered anymore.
I notice when you sing a lot of your lyrics, you mention some kind of disaster, hard times.
Yeah, you take when you're singing the blues, it's built up on some experiences on a foundational level. If it didn't happen to you, it happened to somebody else down the line, or it happened to somebody every day. And so now, and I write songs on the order of people, and the song in the past, what happened in the past, and then today, and what happened today. Songs about peoples.
There's really a kind of history then, isn't there? From all the blues lyrics, you get the people's history.
Don't you know a hard time? Can't you see hard times are here to stay? You know a hard time. Seems like they're here to stay. Hard time. Oh boy, don't you know it's worth me? See, I'll tell you one thing about a blues singer, any blues singer. If you're gonna be a good blues singer and you don't write lyrics, because when you write it, you don't feel it like you would if you feel it. Anybody can write me a song, but I got to change it my way, the way I feel it. Then the way I feel it, I may goof it up any kind of way, but I'm gonna bring it out.
But then it becomes your song.
Yeah.
Not somebody else's, right?
Right. paid a lot of dues. I mean, a lot of us blues singers now is just beginning to come back to us, because down through the years, you take the blues singers like we come up hard, making just a little money, just enough to survive on. So much that this is my life, and the good part about it, when you can love people and you can dig people, your work is much more. You can be much more happy and much more easier when you dig people. Gonna leave right away. Catch a train right away. Gonna leave right away, gotta go, oh yeah. Should have been gone, long time, hey, all right.
Well, the whole world mourns the passing of John Lee Hooker. John Lee, who went from the Mississippi Delta to the Hollywood Walk of Fame, where in 1997 he was given a star on the famous Boulevard in Los Angeles. In 1998, he was honored with the George and Ira Gershwin Lifetime Achievement Award. His recording career, that has spanned over half a century, remains, in the words of one writer, one of the most gripping and powerful singers the blues has ever produced. As Time magazine recently wrote, John Lee Hooker doesn't just sing the blues, and he doesn't just play the blues, he is the blues. One of his biggest fans ever is a guitarist in his own right. A gentleman who always made it his business to show up whenever he could at a John Lee Hooker performance. And then, if the moment was right, he would walk to the stage with his guitar, and John Lee Hooker's eyes would light up because his friend, Carlos Santana, has joined him.
One of these days, things gonna change. One of these days, things gonna change. Your time now, baby. After a while, gonna be mine, gonna be mine. One of these days, I'm moaning, droning, baby. Trying. It won't be long. thing gonna change. Sometime in the middle of the night, I get so lonely, so lonely, so lonely. Thing gonna change, thing gonna change. Change, change, change. Thing gonna change. Further on up the road, baby, thing gonna change. Change, change, change. Change, 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 baby. Your time now, baby. But after a while, it's gonna be my time, baby. Thing gonna change. Change, change, change. Change, change, change. Thing gonna change. Yes, it is. But thing gonna change. Change, change. Change, change. Change, change. Change, change. Thing gonna change. Got the blues. Thing gonna change. Thing gonna change. Change, change. Change, change. Thing gonna change. Change, change.
Chill out. Things are going to change. John Lee Hooker and Carlos Santana from the CD release called Chill Out.
You've been listening to a radio program hosted by Tom Mazzolini 2 days after John Lee Hooker passed away on June 21st, 2001. John Lee Hooker was 83 years old. Tom has had a superb blues program on the radio now for over 40 years. It's called Blues by the Bay. I want to thank him very much for making this program available to this website. Really much appreciated. If you want to hear another interview with John Lee Hooker on this same YouTube channel, you can check out one that I conducted with John Lee Hooker back in 1970. You'll also find interviews with other major jazz and blues musicians, including B.B. King, Lee Morgan, Johnny Otis, Herbie Hancock, Bobby Blue Bland, and lots of others. Well, let's close out with 3 recordings that John Lee Hooker made for Riverside Records in 1960. It was an all-acoustic album called The Country Blues of John Lee Hooker. The 3 compositions we're going to hear are all written by John Lee Hooker. The first one we'll hear is I Rode a Little Boat, followed by Wobblin' Baby, and then Black Snake. Again, those are from the Country Blues of John Lee Hooker. And then the final one we'll hear is from a 1949 recording of his. It was a big hit. It's called Crawlin' King Snake. Well, I really hope you enjoyed this program on the great John Lee Hooker, legendary bluesman. This is Dan McCloskey saying thanks very much for listening.
You know I roll a little boat, 5 miles across the pond. You know I rode a little boat about 5 miles across the pond. I throwed my things in the little boat. It rode me right along. It was thunder and lightning, but it rolled me right along. It was thunder and it was lightning, oh yeah, it rolled me right along. There was thousands of people, they didn't have no place to go. Little children, they were screaming and crying, oh yeah, the wind was howling. They didn't have no place to go. There was thousands of people. It was going from door to door. My little boat kept rolling. He kept on rolling. You know it rolled me right along. Kept on rolling. Kept on rolling. Kept on rolling. Kept on rolling. Rolling. I got a wobbling baby, wobble me all the time. I got a wobbling baby, wobble me all the time. Wobble me in the morning, Jim. Wobble me all the time. Oh, wobble me, baby. Nobody treat me, baby, treat me the way you do. Nobody treat me, baby, treat me the way you do. I love you, baby, love you all the time. Ooh, wow me, baby, wow me. If you ever leave me, baby, I believe I would die. If you ever leave me, baby, I believe that I would die. I would doubt your love, baby. You know your daddy's through. I said, why with me, baby? I got a wobbling, baby. Way she wobbles all right. Wobble me in the morning. Wobble me late at night. Why with me, baby? Why with me, baby? Why with me all the time? Ooh, nobody please me like you do. Here's a mean black snake sucking my rider's tongue. Here's a mean black snake sucking my rider's tongue. And if I catch him down, he won't come back no more. And he crawl up to my window, and he crawl up in my bed. He crawl up to my window, he crawl up in my baby's bed. He's a mean black snake, been sucking my rider's tongue. Get me some toad frog's hips, mix it up together, gonna whoop it up good. I bet your mom bottom down, you won't suck my rider's tongue no more. Mean black snake, been crawling round my back door. Been crawling round my back door. He wore me on through the day. He wore me all night long. He wore me on through the day. He wore me all day long. I bet your mind bottom down. I'm gonna kill old black snake. He won't suck my rider's tongue. He won't suck my baby's tongue no more. That mean black snake, he won't bother me no more. Well, I'm a crawling king snake, and I rule my den. Well, I'm a crawling king snake, and I rule my den. Don't want to run my maid, wanna use her for myself.
You know you caught me crawling now, baby. Well, when the grass was very high, I'm just gonna keep on crawling now, baby, until the day I die, because I'm a crawling king snake, and I rule my den. Come on and give me what I want, baby, and I won't crawl no more. You know I'm going away now, baby, but I'll be back for long. When I come to town now, baby, I'll be the same old snake again, 'cause I'm a crawling king snake. Yes, yes. And I rule my den. Come on and give me what I want, baby, and I won't crawl no more. Well, now I'm crawling, yes, I'm crawling now, baby. I'm crawling in front of your door. You got anything I want now, baby? I'm gonna crawl up on your floor, because I'm a crawling king snake, and I rule my den.